love you back. Furby, the first gigapet.
Pet. Achoo. Your Furby sneezed.
Your Furby sneeze.
Achoo. And gave mine a cold.
Hasbro is not going to like what I'm going to be doing in this video. No, neither are you, buddy.
Oh yeah. You go, Nula.
Now that Furby, who is currently in the naughty corner, is close to the version I grew up with. I have not seen one of these before. So let's experience it together. Whoa, so colorful. Okay, last battery. Where's with all this sass coming from over here? Let's see if you follow instructions. Go to sleep.
Hello?
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, Furby. Go to sleep! Yeah, neither of them are really following instructions, so I'm just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Now, obviously with the batteries removed, they would remain nice and still for their surgeries. However, I was unable to shut either of their eyes, meaning that through the entire procedure, both of them would be maintaining adorable and horrified eye contact, just the way I like it. Now that my patients are without their flesh, it's time to figure out what are the moving parts. This older one has this movement area in the middle so it can bob up and down from the center, whereas this other one really does it from the toes and pushes up and down like that. So I actually have to nail down what their senses are, how they move, and their personality. Sleep.
Okay.
Great, thanks for listening.
Blah, blah, blah. Tootie toes, blah.
With the old school Furby, I am leaning into its personality. It does not listen, it just talks. So I'm gonna replace the little mouth up at the beak area with a giant mouth in the stomach area. Dedicated to how much it likes to talk, and I'm gonna connect new arms acting as hands covering up the ear holes because it doesn't like to listen.
What better than best friend? Best friend with pizza.
Meanwhile, the brand new Furby is friendly, too friendly. Overly attached, one might say. So I'm gonna lean into that with a Furby that won't even as much as let you think about doing anything unrelated to being its BFF. I'm gonna start off with the new Furby because mechanically it's much simpler, but I don't wanna lose the motion, which we have the feet and the ears, which I'm not gonna use as ears, I'm gonna replace with arms. Now I want to use Cosclay because it has a fleshy feel and flexible properties, and I have a whole bunch of this glow Cosclay. No idea if it's going to work effectively, but hey, if you can see this creepy thing in the dark, all the better. So I just give it a go. I started just covering up my Furby with the fleshy clay, and then I realized that there's a whole bunch of these screw holes that might allow me to take the shell of the Furby off, and sure enough, just pops right off. Actually having the outer shell of the Furby completely separatable is going to be really useful for giving this base coat of clay. Not only does it make it super easy to apply, but it will pop in the oven and bake without obviously cooking any of the electronics. No! Oh, Furby. Oh no. Maybe I heated it up too quick. Oh, have I melted? I've melted the Furby shell. Oh no. Well look, the most crucial part, which is the front of the Furby, is holding together just. It's bent everything. This is not gonna fit on the original Furby. Just means we're gonna have to get extra creative. So I've handed over the electronic skeleton of my Furby over to Amy to find a way to cover with the fleshy Cosclay in a way that can be baked and then put back on the body. Meanwhile, the only surviving piece of plastic from my mishap were these eye frame things. So I used that as a basis to sculpt an entire face on that I can then later meld with our Furby body. I always find one of the best things to make faces look really creepy is little teeth in big mouths. And with the details and very creepy expression and form of this face having come together, it's ready to bake. This time I'm not going to throw it in the oven, I'm going to hit it with a heat gun so I have a bit more control, which turned out to be a really great approach. All in all, a very successful creepy face sculpt. Now it's just a matter of taking the face off. And then cut to face. Alright, I'm hoping we've averted disaster because Amy has made me a delightful flesh suit that now I can stick my creepy face to and start to detail out a little bit. I think I'm gonna have to paint these eyes before I get onto all those exterior details. Sticking this all together was a little bit finicky, but bit by bit, using Sculpey glue and extra bits of the cosplay, I bridged the gaps between my face carving and Amy's flesh suit and slowly worked in extra rolls and details, all of which I sort of baked on as I went. So now's the moment of truth. Is our Furby still alive? Yeah! That's enough out of you. Now it's time to get a little bit aggressive. I want to replace these ears and these feet, and what better to do that with than the limbs of a child's toy. Let's not waste time thinking about why we're disturbed and just be disturbed. Starting off by cutting off and combining the baby feet with my Furby feet, and then cutting up the ears to then replace with the arms and hands of the baby, posed in a way that's holding a knife and an actual anatomically correct human heart. We just have a lot of really weird stuff ready to make into really weird things, and I bloody love it. And with the form of my first Furby complete, it's time for the finishing touches. Painting in the details, adding some washes into the crevices of the flesh. And hiding up some areas and adding that little monstrous touch with some fuzzy hair around choice areas of our weird creature. Hey! I have a new friend. Oh my God, this is so good. I totally forgot that there's lights in here. So his murderous hands are lit up. Oh, and he's glow in the dark in theory. What I can say for sure is that he's perfect and bound to be a toy anyone would be grateful to receive.
Why does it move? That's messed up. You're a madman.
It's definitely a face for radio. That's unreal.
I got you a little desk buddy.
Oh, thank you so much. I hate it.
Oh God!
Oh my God, what the Talk, demon baby. This is disgusting.
Sorry, he's sleeping. We'll tuck it out. We've just had a big play. Actually, over on my Patreon behind the scenes, we do an entirely dedicated video every week. So if you want a bit of a view as to how this mad sort of production comes together, go consider supporting me on Patreon. There's so much cool stuff that happens over there. Previews for every video, early access and the behind the scenes, private Discord community and loads more. Go check it out, patreon.com/JAZZA'S Studios. Your support means a huge deal to me and my studio. It allows me to make such precious little darlings. Now we get to work with the old school Furby. My theory with this one is to have a bottom tummy section that could be turned into a mouth that sort of opens and closes. I have no idea if it's going to work, so I think I have to do a proof of concept first. Okay, I have a prototype and I'm hoping this will animate effectively. Look at that tongue! It's working! Way better than like the original Furby. I think we nailed his personality. All right, that's enough for me. Oh my God, that works so well. Okay, so we're gonna divide and conquer a little bit here because I need to start working on some of the details. So I'm gonna hand this over to Amy, who I'm gonna get to make me some creepy ears. And given the aesthetic that happens to be emerging, Amy went ahead and sculpted a bit more of a monkey gorilla style ear that we can replace the Furby's ears with. Meanwhile, I went ahead and sculpted a few hands that would stick on the ends of armature wire. It's time to sculpt the tongue. I'm gonna do something I've never done before. This is pink silicone. We use this to create molds, but when you have a thin amount of it, it's just remarkably floppy. And I figure I could reverse the process and sculpt a tongue indentation inside monster clay and pour a tongue into it and have a floppy tongue. So these were the steps I followed, hoping that that would work. Pour liquid monster clay into a shallow container, give it enough time to set that I could carve out an inverse sculpt of a tongue, and then mixing up a little bit of that pink sil with a couple of drops of ink just to tweak the color, touch of white to desaturate, and a few drops of alcohol ink red to add a translucent, wet, fleshy red color. Have no idea how this is going to set with the silicone, but in it goes, and hopefully this ends up being a gross, wet, floppy tongue. Oh, please be gross and wobbly, please be gross and wobbly. Oh my god! Oh yes, it's perfect! This video that you're watching is revealing me to be a disgusting mastermind. I have the pieces of perfection. It is time to put them all together. Starting with the tongue, I want this thing to have as much movement when the Furby talks as possible. Between the top jaw and the bottom jaw is going to be black felt, which will create the inside of the mouth and allow the flexibility of movement for when it opens and closes. And of course, give a little bit of framing for our lovely gross tongue. And before we go into putting all the fur on this creature, it's time to give it a little bit of a paint job, making it a bit fleshier but keeping the glow-in-the-dark properties of our cosplay. And last but not least, it's time to give my little monster a delightful layer of obnoxious fur, this time covering most of the creature in bold oranges and reds for our lovely kid-friendly creation. I did it! I hope it works. This is so like heavy in different directions, so I have no idea if the mechanics will still work, but now's the time to find out. He is waking. He is waking! Hey Furby! How creepy is that? Furby! I nailed this. Cut to reveals. I've made a couple of delightful friends in this video. I'm gonna name them. How about Salanal and Bone Paws, after my latest legend patrons. Thank you both very much, and to all of my patrons for supporting. This was so much fun. I hope you had as much fun as I did. And you know what? I love these so much, I'm gonna share with you. And in fact, this one can be yours. I'm just gonna hot glue the base shut so you can't turn it off.
You don't. No, you don't.
It's in character, Tom. It's in it's who he is.
Yeah, but you honestly, you can keep him. It's fine.
Enjoy.
Will you please shut up?
Okay,
Stop mocking me.
Hey.
Shut up!